Anthony Hanks from Kaizen Martial Arts, and sorry, it's very hard to call you anything besides Shihan.
Hey, that's all right, man. That's all right.
So, why don't you tell us about Kaizen?
Well, Kaizen is the martial arts school that I own down in Jackson with my wife, Harmony Hanks. And Kaizen is actually a Japanese word that means constant and never-ending improvement. And I've been teaching martial arts since the age of 12.
12.
I started off with my instructor down in LA, and he gave me the privilege of teaching what we call private lessons, like one-on-one teaching skill set, for 30-minute lessons that would make $1 a class. And I would teach about 100 of those a month. So at the age of 12, I was making $100 a month. So it was pretty cool, and it was my passion at the age of 10 to actually open up a martial arts school. So,
and what actually inspired you to?
I would just say my instructor did. You know, I grew up with a single dad, and it was kind of rough kind of getting my bearings, and he was just really good at like equipping and mentoring. So that just kind of really, I think, drew me in. And back in LA, I was kind of like a wannabe gangster, and my whole goal of life at that age, because of my brother and actually my dad and my grandparents, they were all in prison and had either been in and out. So kind of my mentality back then was like, well, I guess I'm going to be in prison one day. So he actually really helped me with and through the martial arts to kind of just really get focused and give me like opportunities. So I was telling some kids yesterday in Pine Grove Elementary just about someone believing in you, and my instructor really believed in me, so he gave me the opportunity to teach kids that were younger than I martial arts. So that just kind of really created my passion for teaching students like Andrew, who just earned his black belt this weekend, right?
Congrats.
Black belt ceremony.
Yeah, first degree black belt.
And what did he have to do to achieve the black belt?
You can tell him.
It was lots of years of hard work and perseverance. We had to do, I think it was 5 open hand katas and 3 weapon katas, and we had to go to black belt boot camp.
Yeah.
Boot camp is definitely an experience.
Exhausting.
Exhausting.
Yeah, boot camp, 3-day getaway up into the mountains, 8,000-foot elevation, and we just pretty much killed them, is what we say.
You have to get used to the elevation, definitely.
Oh, that's great.
How long were you sore after?
Well, the first morning I woke up and I don't know if I could walk. Sort of laid in bed and contemplated whether or not I should even get up.
Yeah.
Kind of like what I did this
Although the second day of boot camp, walking down those stairs, though,
Yeah.
that was hard.
Just a good mental challenge, you know, good for the body and soul, mind, the whole thing.
Definitely.
And camaraderie and just bonding and kind of getting away. So it's pretty
Yeah, I
fun.
was just going to ask you, how does this just affect somebody, not only in, the physical aspect or that, but just a life general and just kind of their characteristics? How does it shape in somebody?
I would say like through the years, kind of like with my story, and then like just that instructor mentoring and believing in you. I've seen a lot of kids, because we'll be open almost 10 years now here in Jackson, and just some of the kids who just have no purpose in life, and then they come into the martial arts, and just number one, as instructors, believing in them that they can succeed, and that just boosts their confidence like someone does believe in me, and I think that's really, really important. So just things like that give them, actually like a desire to continue living, and martial arts is one of those things that, you put on a white belt and then you go for your next belt, and your next belt, there's goal setting involved for the kids. I think it's a really family environment. So one of my beliefs is that whenever someone comes in the door, like they're part of my family, so I'm going to treat them like they're my kid, with just that, I'm going to help them to become better than I am. Like that's kind of one of my mottos for the kids, like, what's your goal for martial arts? And I'll tell them it's to be better than me, and that's what my passion is to help them, whether it's a kick, a punch, self-defense, go off to college, be able to feel confident when they're walking the dorms. So what would you say about that?
Well, I know martial arts has affected my life greatly. I mean, when I first started, if you had asked me, what does it mean to be a black belt? I probably would have said, well, it's knowing some cool moves and having a black belt, right? But over the years, everything that you've taught me and I've seen, I've learned that it's your mindset and the way you act and just a certain, mental attitude.
He's an incredible person.
He is.
And how does one sign up for your classes?
Probably the best way, I mean, they can either go like on our website, Kaizen Martial Arts Academy.org, or just walk in the building, give us a call, 209-223-3777. But it's pretty much everyone. We just start off with like a free trial week so they get to experience it, get hands-on, make sure it's going to be a good fit, and then just kind of go from there.
Other than martial arts, what are some other advice that you might give teens our age or just anybody in general who's trying to figure out just kind of their purpose in life or just trying to gain those skill sets to go out into the real world?
Well, you mean as far as like actually in the martial arts through joining that?
Yeah, like just through martial arts and just in life in general.
Well, I would say, you know, I'm real open with my students that my first, like, who I am is I'm a Christian. So, like, I believe God rescued me at a young age. There's been multiple incidences in my life where there's no way I should be alive today. Like, I've been in some really bad accidents. I've been shot at, like, some crazy situations. So I believe, like, God has a purpose for your life. So I think, number one, like, it starts there, like, finding out who God is. And I know, like, God is gracious and He's generous. So I believe, like, that's number one for me, and like communicating that story of like that God has a story for us and then we get to enter into His story. But I think martial arts is a great avenue of just, again, encompassing that. It's like Kaizen is an atmosphere where I've seen it over and over, and kids share this in their, I make them write like a 1-page essay when they're earning their black belts just about their story in the martial arts. And almost across the board, everyone says that, you know, in school, you know, whether they're getting bullied or picked on or they're just having like a really bad day, when they come to Kaizen, we create an atmosphere that they're accepted. You know, I think acceptance is something like that's really important, that we get to encourage each other. And when you're down, like, you can come into Kaizen and be down, and we're going to lift you up. It's going to be a place where you can excel. You know, I love sports, and I did football, but whoever was like the worst, you didn't get to play. You know, and in martial arts, you can be the worst and you still get to play. That's like an important thing. You know, you're not validated upon your skill set or your ability to punch really fast or win the match, but you're accepted just for who you are. So I think that's important.
Well, I know that I've always felt a sense of community and a sense of family at Kaizen. I've always felt very comfortable, and it's been a great experience for me.
Yeah, man.
And I saw pictures.
Yeah.
That was great.
Well, let me boost this guy up a little bit, man. Amazing. Like 5 years, right? 5 years? 4 years? Close to 5, something like that, right? Trained for a couple years and then took a break, which is like super commendable, because a lot of students who stop training never come back, whether it's just life changes, interests change, maybe they just got like lack of motivation for training in the arts. But he decided to come back. I know a few of his friends through the years had like graduated to black belt, and it inspired him again. So he restarted and then continued training and just earned his black belt this weekend, and it was super awesome. And my instructor, who came down from LA, who was my first instructor at the age of 6, we were training for the actual celebration where they perform for their family and friends. And my instructor pointed him out and said that he kind of plays dad a little bit. So he said, "Okay, everyone stop." And he said, "There's only one black belt here." And I think he asked one of the other students, the high-ranking black belt, "Who's the only black belt?" And I don't think he knew, but he said, "That guy right there." And he was pointing to Andrew, just how focused he was and his ability to control his body. So that was pretty awesome, man.
But you
Congrats once again.
you graduated your first third-degree black belt. What does it feel to have brought someone that far in the martial arts?
You know, I just think it's super rewarding for me as an instructor that kind of like myself and some of my other friends who have just stuck with the martial arts. And we have the saying that a black belt is a white belt that never gave up. So just that continually training. So that was Sensei Jacob Johnson, who is a junior at Amador High School, and he just earned his 3rd degree. So just super proud of him and just all that he's accomplished. He actually assists in teaching some of our kids' classes. He oversees our demo team, who are looking to perform at the fireworks show in Jackson this year. So it's pretty cool.
And what is the age range for that?
We start usually at 4, kind of to see if they're ready. So usually 4 or 5 years old, and then we have students all the way up in their 50s and 60s.
Oh,
So-
wow.
You have some other classes at Kaizen. Would you like to talk about those?
Yeah, we do. So we have our kids karate program, which is a little bit of a mix of like jujitsu, karate, Krav Maga, and then we have our teen program, again, kind of the same kind of flair on that. And then we have actually a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, which is more geared for teens and adults. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is like a grappling art where you learn how to defend yourself from stand-up, and if the fight goes to the ground, how to defend there. And then we have, my wife teaches our kickboxing fitness class.
Harmony gets scary when she gets that mic on. She gets out on the mat. I mean, Harmony's always so nice when I come up to her at the front desk, but then she gets out there and it's push it, push it.
Yeah, that's a repetition, but yeah, it's a pretty awesome class, which I am actually going to do that at 9 o'clock this morning.
That's
Keep
great.
myself in shape. So
That's a good way to wake up.
yeah.
So can people join at any time?
Anytime. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, just come in. You don't need any.
Not a start date, not an end date?
No,
Awesome.
just come on in pretty much and try out for the trial, and then go from there. You don't need any experience. We help you out with that, and then just jump in.
Sounds great. Do you
You
remember?
have to do it.
Uh,
you do
maybe.
kickboxing.
I
Yeah.
would definitely be interested
Yeah,
in
you should.
kickboxing for sure.
You should.
I'm not the strongest,
Oh,
but
that doesn't matter.
but definitely. And do you remember your first time doing it? Just in a quick short.
My
thing.
first time doing karate, I remember it was Jacob Taraya. I went to one of his ceremonies when he was probably getting one of his early belts.
Oh, wow.
And I signed up for karate, and it was over at the original Red Dragon Dojo.
Yeah.
It was so small. You had barely any room on the mat, but it still felt like, even from the beginning, I felt the sense of community there.
For feeling that for that long, it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Well, I hope
Right, well-
this encourages people to go check you guys out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and-
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, man.
Awesome.
You're awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, pleasure.
It was a good morning.
Awesome.
Stay with us. We will be back soon.
Amador Live. Only on cable, only on TSPN and the World Wide Web at TSPN.